My name is Hsieh, and I'm the college and career counselor at Catalina Foothills. And we are doing interviews with Flinn Scholars to find out more about their story. And so I'm really excited to be here with Ruby. Ruby, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you for having me, Chris. I'm really glad you're putting this together. I think it'll be a great resource for the students. My name is Ruby. I'm a freshman at the U of A right now, and me and my friend Seth were just awarded the Flinn Scholar last year.
Amazing, amazing. So thanks again for being here, and then we're just gonna get after it. So question number one is, tell us about yourself.
I'm double majoring in journalism and creative writing right now. So if there are any students at CAFA interested in studying the humanities, I can actually put my school email in the chat right now, and maybe you can keep that as a resource there, because I'd love to see some emails or questions if anyone wants to reach out and ask me about that. I was a little bit doubtful going into my field just because it's not typically as common as a lot of STEM fields, but if you're passionate about something, make sure you go after it for sure.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so then why did you apply for the Flinn?
Let's see. Well, for my family, college wasn't a fully financially safe option. I knew that if I didn't build up a lot of scholarships, that I would most likely have to work for a year or start at PIMA, which are both wonderful options if that's what you're going for. But I knew that it would be a huge opportunity, especially, like low-income, first-gen sort of experience.
Nice, amazing. Who were the most effective helpers for your Flinn application?
I highly recommend doing this, but me and a bunch of my friends all applied at the same time. And it was really helpful along the process. We all did our applications together. We would hang out and work on it. It's a great way to make you do it, force you to get it done. And also it's really nice to have people get to proofread your essays, your short answer for questions, to go over possible interview questions, things like that. It's really nice to have someone there guiding along in the process.
Nice. I had never considered doing a group application together with your friends. So
yeah,
how did that come about?
It was just me and a bunch of friends applying to scholarships at the same time, because I think a lot of high school seniors have that experience of you're all doing it at the same time, and going through that process, which is it can be very scary and stressful.
Sure.
Being a high school senior it can be rough, so don't do it alone.
Right, safety in numbers. I like it.
Yes.
Love it. Okay, so what activities and extracurriculars did you do while at CAFA?
I did a bunch of stuff. There are a lot of great clubs and resources at our school. I did speech and debate. Was actually my first extracurricular at the school, and I don't think it exists anymore. And I would love to see someone pick it up again because it was one of my favorite clubs. It was a really great resource. So if anyone is interested in speech and debate, I'm not sure if it's been started again, but I would love to see that in the future. I did the NAHS art club for a little bit. That was very fun. If you're interested in art, I would reach out to Miss Reinhardt for the National Art Honors Society, which is a great resource. In terms of local nonprofits, AZ Hugs for the Houseless, I worked with them for a little bit. They do a lot of homelessness relief, and then a more local one, a Tucson one, Survivor Shield. They're a nonprofit that works with sexual assault survivors, and the founder of it is actually a CatFoot graduate. His name is Jake Martin. He's a really cool dude.
Nice.
I met him when I was a freshman, and he was graduating, but he has gone on to do great things. So if you're interested in nonprofit work, political science, working in local government, he would be a great resource, and I can help people reach out to him.
Awesome.
Because I love working alongside them. They do different charity events. So they do art shows, they do music shows, they do different things to raise money, which are really fun as well.
Yeah. What did you do with them?
I like to make art, so I would do their charity art shows, and I would sell things, and you have to pay for a booth, but the booth money goes to the nonprofit, and it's a really great way to get if you want to get writing or paintings or music or anything of the sorts, if you're interested in the arts out there, it's a really nice resource.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is really sick. And I did band.
Yeah.
I was a band kid. That's, hard to admit, but I did do it for 4 years, and it was actually pretty cool. Our band travels to really amazing places. I can't downplay it. It's pretty amazing. It's huge.
Yeah, it's massive, which is amazing. What instrument did you play?
I play the flute.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. And are you still playing the flute?
I am, but just for funsies now.
Yeah. Not for the U of A band or anything like that.
No. I'm thinking about maybe joining a little local group.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay. What did you write your essays about?
Let's see. A lot of times I found something small, a small event or something that happened to me in my life, and I found a way to connect it to my broader experiences and beliefs. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into what the essay questions are this year. I believe they change. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I remember I wrote about like a dish my mom makes, something small like that, something personal, find a personal anecdote and then connect it to who you are as a person.
Yeah.
That's a good general path to take.
Yeah.
And also, since there are multiple essays, I believe one of them does revolve around something you're passionate about, something you want to study. And don't be afraid to go wild on that, I would say. They want to hear some crazy things. So if you're interested in something that you think is outside of the box, don't be afraid of putting it in there, for sure.
Right. So be very personal is what
Yes.
you're saying. Like give
Sure.
them as much about you as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So sorry, let me rehash these questions and see if they're the same as what you guys had. Choose a scientific theory or discovery, a piece of writing, artistic creation that fundamentally impacted your perspective or ignited a passion in you.
Mm-hmm.
And then reflect on a tradition, whether it's family, cultural, societal, that holds significance for you. And then some students have an interest, talent, background, or identity that is so meaningful that they believe their application would be incomplete without it. Share your story. So
those are all the same, actually.
Yeah,
I was just like flooded back. Yeah, I remember the question about scientific discovery writing. I chose a piece of writing. That one's really nice, and that's a great broad question because it's basically just asking you think about something that you're interested in and tell us why you are and how you want to study it or what you want to go into in your life.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Anything else that you want to add about just writing essays in general?
Yes. There are a lot of short answer questions. Questions that might seem trivial. I know some of them are like, why do you want to go to Arizona State School? Things like that, where it's just like a paragraph maybe. Treat those like they're mini essays. Don't just fill them out to fill them out.
Yeah.
I would recommend trying to make everything personal. Everything is like part of your application, in some way. They look over your application as a whole, and every single piece contributes. So don't skip out on something just because you think it isn't of great importance.
Gotcha. That's awesome. That's really great advice. Okay. Knowing what you know now, how would you prepare for your interviews?
What do I know now? I did a lot of work like writing things down, and I wish I would have worked on speaking out loud more.
Okay.
Because I remember going into my first interview on Zoom and I heard my voice out loud and I kind of like freaked out. So if you can, like print off your essays and just read them out loud in your room, read off anything, get used to hearing yourself, get used to being able to, speak.
Just speak in general, right? Yeah.
I did put something down here. Instead of memorizing answers, which you shouldn't do anyways for interviews, it's a good rule of thumb. Something that really helped me was writing down like a list of anecdotes, like little experiences or stories, like impactful moments in your life, and instead like using that as your references. So that way when someone asks you an interview question, instead of having an answer, you have a story, which is an example that you can reference in your answer.
Which shares way more about you, right?
Shares way more about you and how you change and how it's shaped your experiences.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did they ask a lot about your application in the interviews?
They do. That's another. I'm glad you brought that up. They do reference things that you say sometimes. So, if you make it to the stage of interviews, I would recommend. I wish I would have done this. Printing off your save all your essays and answers to everything. That way, in the future, you can print them off and like see what you said because they will quote you on the say, and it can catch you by surprise of like I wrote that because it's many months later. And know your application very well. Those are your words. Make sure you recognize everything you wrote on there because they'll say, do you still believe the same way of your experience? How has this changed since you've written your application? Things like that. You want to make sure you're locked into what you've put on your application.
That makes sense. It's probably pretty intimidating to get quoted, right?
It is. I'm like, I said that? No way.
That's funny. That's good to know, though. What would you do? Anything differently with your application? I mean,
differently. I would have submitted it earlier.
Ooh.
It's just a matter of procrastination.
Sure.
I think I would have felt a lot more confident in my work if I had given myself the grace to work on it for longer. Those last couple days leading up to the submission period were rough. They were very late days.
Yeah.
And don't do that to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Also, there is a different due date for the recommendations. So make sure you're staying on top of that due date and keeping in contact with your recommenders. Make sure you're talking to them in person, emailing them, hey, just making sure you're aware of the time constraints. Is there anything I can do to help? You don't want to tell someone about a recommendation and then have them forget about it 4 months later,
Right, for
keep
sure.
in contact for sure.
How did you select who would be your recommenders?
I believe there's an academic recommendation, a leadership recommendation, and then sort of counselor sign off. The counselor sign off is very simple. Just get in contact with your school counselor. I'm sure you have more resources on that than I do.
Yeah.
But for I think the academic can be sort of anyone who's seen you grow as a student, anyone that knows who you are as a student, but the leadership is a lot more specific and focused. It should be someone that maybe you know from a club, someone that you know from a sport, from music, from the arts, anyone that has seen you doing what you love is really important. And of course, it's supposed to be someone who's seen you in a leadership position. And oftentimes when you like something, you end up, going towards those positions.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a recommender that you wouldn't recommend being used? Does that make sense?
Can't think of any names.
No, if they're would a music
I thought you were trying to give me a I don't know, dude.
ask you catch some strays, right? So if there's a music teacher versus a club advisor versus that type of thing, not specific people.
Yes, I do. Make sure there's no conflicts of interest. Even though your uncle might know you like the back of his hand and he loves you and he's your uncle, he's going to write great things about you. It's better if this is someone who's from a work environment, from a school environment, someone not related to you, someone that hasn't known you for your whole life, no family, friends. Just because I'm not sure to what extent the foundation looks into your recommenders, but you want to make sure it's you're being represented by someone who is unbiased.
Yeah, great advice. Okay, so excluding the financial aspect of things, how has being a Flinn Scholar, or what benefits have you seen being a Flinn Scholar?
I really had no idea that there would be such a sorry, I'm outside. Such a large sense of community that it fosters, but the foundation is really great at planning a lot of events, and even this summer I'm very excited. We're going to Europe. I've never been anywhere.
Nice.
I'm got my passport for the first time. I'm stoked.
Awesome.
But other than the travel and the money and all the material things, there are a lot of people I've met through the foundation that I do think I will be in contact with for the rest of my life, which is really cool. And it's really great to have a network of people that care about you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Tell me about Europe. Is it through? It's obviously through the foundation.
Yeah, it is. So there's a freshman seminar trip. So after your cohort's freshman year, you spend 2 weeks in a country and you study and you explore. And this year we're going to Finland.
Whoa!
Woo! I'm really excited.
So it's all the freshman scholars.
Yes, all the freshman scholars after their freshman year, the summer after.
That's fun. And then is there a trip after every year, or is it just
and then after that, you have a stipend for your study abroad.
Okay.
You get a certain amount of money set out for you to use however you like, plan your own study abroad, do whatever program you choose. That way you can go somewhere and study. Yeah. Most people go somewhere for a semester, for a month, for some weeks, just because there's so many disciplines.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. What's the honors college like?
Well, this is kind of an obvious, but the amenities are really nice. I didn't realize how hard it is to eat and make yourself food on top of school and work and all your activities. And it's really nice having a dining hall downstairs to get food. It's really nice. The gym is free. It's 20 feet away. The showers are nice. It's really nice not having to worry about communal bathrooms. But other than the obvious of the building, it's nice working with people who are like-minded, who all want to achieve big things, and it can also be really great for different research opportunities. I've had a lot of friends, even though there's research outside of STEM, I've had a lot of my STEM friends tell me that being a part of the honors college is great for lab research or internships.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, cool. And do they set up their own types of events and stuff for you as well, or is it?
Yeah, there are a lot of events that they hold in the courtyard, different training programs. I know this summer they just emailed about like an employment event where they teach you how to make a resume and a LinkedIn profile and a cover letter. And so they have all sorts of like little classes that they do and offer up to all the students.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit more personal. If you weren't a Flinn Scholar, which college would you be attending right now?
This is like boring, and I wish I could have been like Duke, but I probably would still be going in state. Even outside of the Flinn, there are so many scholarships offered in state, and I like can't stress enough that if you're like low income, if you're first gen, if you're struggling anyway, if you're not sure if you want to go to college, please look into the scholarships that are offered. Scholarship Universe is a great place to start.
And where can they find Scholarship Universe?
Scholarship Universe. I'm not sure if it's just specifically for the U of A or if it's for all in-state Arizona schools. It might just be for the U of A.
Each college kind of has their own Scholarship Universe. So yeah. So
okay.
That's I didn't know if you were looking elsewhere outside of the Scholarship Universe at the U of A.
I looked into the ASU programs for a while, but I just knew that I kind of liked the smaller community that Tucson offers. Phoenix is really big. It's also, this is kind of off topic, but I'm studying journalism, and the journalism program at ASU is wonderful. Cronkite School of Journalism, if you're interested, I would recommend looking into. They also have a great business school.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was going to ask you in the beginning, what do you hope to do with your journalism degree or with what you're studying?
Right now, I'm really interested in like investigative work. I think I would like to eventually work for some sort of nonprofit media, something like ProPublica. I'd love to be a reporter and write stories and uncover things. I really have no idea, though. That could probably change in a month.
Sure.
But I'm loving it right now.
That's amazing. I love it too. I can't wait to read your headlines and everything else.
Thank you so much.
That'd be amazing. Okay. Anything else that you want to share with Catfoot students about applying for the Flinn or the Flinn in general?
I think we covered everything. I'm looking over my notes. Oh, yeah. If you haven't started, don't worry. Start now. It doesn't matter. It's not too late. It's never too late. 3 days before. I mean, granted, you should give grace to your recommenders and, but if this is the first time you've heard about it, watching this video, pull up the application. Hop 2.
Nice. Love that. Make it happen, right?
Make it happen, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So thanks, Ruby. Really appreciate your time and your willingness to share your experience with all of our students and future students who might be interested in this pretty amazing opportunity of a scholarship. We at Catfoot have had quite a few Flinn Scholars in our history, and we hope to add quite a few more in our future. And so this will only help them prepare for it even better.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so glad I could be a help.
Yay.